All right, greetings everybody and welcome. Taking a look at what is new, what is hot, and what might change your plans for the future. All right, so today we have had our update on JP where we are seeing two new VCs. We talked about them previously, and there isn't really too terribly much else to say about these VCs at this point. What you see is essentially what you get. And the one that is gotcha is a permanent addition to the pool. It is a job-based VC for all of the regular swords, not katanas, not great swords, not any of that, just regular S words. Yes, those are all included into this VC. And personally, I think this VC is fine. I don't think it's any kind of necessary for most people to pull this VC because it is a permanent edition and there's just too many limited ones recently that have kind of maybe taken just a bit more priority depending on what your priority is. So yeah, long and short of this, I just don't think that this VC is worth it, but is what it is, right? All right, so moving on, let's talk about something which is to do with the raid. Now, the raid event this time is giving out black box accessories. Let me just see, not ranking because I haven't done anything really yet. Let's go down, just pull up this and talk about it. Sorry, my cat knocked something over in the background and quite possibly is dead at this point. We won't know until later. It's a Schrodinger's problem. Anyway, Black Box, let's evaluate this. It's for the Nery collaboration and it's for the Nery characters. All of the 4 of the characters will get piercing attack resistance up, magic attack resistance up, and then we get into the specific bonuses for each. 2B gets evasion up by 10 and slash attack resistance penetration up by 30, which goes a long way to improving her offensive capabilities and that evasion dream that some people have had for her. So cool. 9S gets physical damage reduction of 10 and area attack resistance up by 10, which honestly, I still don't think it's good enough to be considered at all. And there's another reason for that we'll talk about in a bit. A2 gets weakness resistance up for 15, meaning it's harder to debuff her, which cool. And physical damage increase of 10%. Given that she's already pretty damn strong and a pretty well evaluated character, I can see this being pretty nice just to keep her from being debuffed and just up her damage. All that seems really good because her kit is generally really good. And last but not least, 2P, who is definitely not least in terms of describing this character. Not only is she a major player for this new raid, we're starting to see maybe that dream that some people have had of this character coming true. Evasion up by 10 and attack up by 30%, which she was already a really good damage dealer from previews that I saw of her on evasion teams, and an extra source of evasion is just really good because as you build an entire evasion team, you want more things that give evasion to different characters, and this is just essentially for 2P. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. I'm just cramming as many memes as I can in here. So the first week of January, we saw Helena, Black Rose, Starlet Elena, and Queen Mashery, their limit burst upgrades. The 4th week of January, we will see Niv, Raldor, and Eliza all get their next one. Now, week 2, we are seeing, and wait, do I have this already? Yes, I do. Okay, I have it. Let me find the right spot. We have 3 characters being upgraded this week. First off is OG Mashery, who now, for Limit Burst, essentially does this. After removing all of your own weakness and removing all of the target's enhancements, deal 2 consecutive damage magic, extra large, hits higher accuracy, and greater increase your own resistance to all attack types. So it's an improvement on the improvement. And here's the thing, it's still directly in front of her. So it is trash. It has been trash previously. I know that it is conceptually really cool to just make yourself immune to all damage types, but Mashri just isn't that good, and 3 turns wouldn't save her against most teams, and she'll be dead ever before her limit burst gets off. So memes will stay memes, and dreams and definitely not be happening here. All right, next up is Oldoa. And Oldoa has had a tenuous past. While some people really like her, I have never essentially liked her. And that's as much as I'm going to say on that topic. Now, what's interesting here is that her Limit Burst does do a lot of things now. AP consumption down, damage to targets after defense is down for 3 turns. It's now up to extra large damage. It's having the CT of the target that it hits. It's greatly reducing the AP. I don't think the numbers are up on JP yet. Oh, maybe they are. That literally just happened as I was recording. So it's a decrease of 40 AP for the target that hits, but there's enough AP generation that I'm, not a super big deal. And it also reduces damage taken by 25% for 3 turns. Now, here's the thing. The range hasn't improved on this at all. It's 29 AP, so her likely of casting it, sure, 29 AP is not a very high cost. Problem is that her AP reduction and a whole bunch of stuff is locked behind this limit burst, and 9 out of 10 times, this girl is dead way before she ever gets a chance to happen. I mean, sure, you could throw a tank, but I just don't see it happening. Oldoa is another character that has just tried really hard for a good long time to get upgrades, and they've just never been good enough to really get her there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Umbra, so far the Vision card. You're not... I mean, you've kind of praised the black box, although end results will vary. So, what's the thing you've been building up to? Because I have been waiting for this the entire video. And I do believe, let me just consult it, but say it with me, Kitone. There. Are you happy? Did I say it right? Am I free from gamer jail forever? Okay, I'm stretching it out a bit, but let's talk about Kitone. There you go. Because this limit burst is actually pretty insane. Now, 29 AP, which is pretty cheap. I mean, if you look at it overall, 29 AP is just very, very plausible for a character to get. This will also increase Human Killer by 20 for 3 turns at the end for this character. 67% chance to stop, which is from the previous time. Damage hasn't increased. It's still 2 hits. Still has the same range, but increase evasion rate for 30 for 3 turns. Ignore sure hit for 3 turns, and increase healing power for self for 3 turns. Here's the thing. Whenever we evaluate how good these upgrades are, we really do have to stop and just take a look at how probable a limit burst is, to go off. And this is a really incredibly high chance, because the way you build Keto now is evasion with evasion teams. And she's generally good enough to survive, I would say, at least a considerable enough time for her to get her limit burst off. And it's just everything that an evasion character would essentially want. All the DPS boosts for her, Human Killer is just good against a ton of different characters. That's assuming that, she hasn't stopped her target, which is also great. Increasing her healing power is beneficial to her based on some of her abilities. And then just the evasion rate and sure hit ignore is exactly what you want on it. And it's not a small amount. It's 30 extra evasion and complete sure hit. I mean, short of really accurate teams, this character will see high-level play again, I think, from this upgrade. Now, I say I think because it depends on how hard people adjust and how good this team actually is, because you need, 2P, probably Lucio or King Bradley, one of those two. But this goes a long way. Everything in this update goes a long way to making Earth Evasion a real, actual thing that is good across the board, because there are lots of lightning teams to farm out there right now. There is a couple of newer, stronger characters. There's some new equipment that supports it. There's some new VCs that are supporting it. And last but not least, one of the things that I think is always incredibly important for this thing to really be recommended on my channel is when a character is accessible to a lot of different players, because at this point, Lucio and King Bradley are complete hindsight. You can't go back and say in the past and say that these and change your opinion on it when it just looked pretty dicey, and it still kind of does. But 2P and Kitone are probably enough right now to make a solid Evasion team with just another character in there and be really good. And the other thing too is that this is not particularly high cost. I mean, if you were to go this character plus 2P, that's only a 70 cost or a 170 cost total so far. And you can potentially go for some other Earth Elemental character, which keeps the cost incredibly low and still very, very effective against limited cost teams. I think there's a ton of stuff here that is really, really promising for people who have invested and are looking for something new and cool to do. But Halloween Lucio is just kind of a, well, guess you missed the boat on that one. As for Master Ability 2s, which is the last thing we're going to talk about here as we transfer in from talking about Earth into Wind, is Risal. Risal got her level 80 Master Ability 2, which let me read it as I just suffer through a little bit of indigestion. So before she was getting HP of 10%, wind attack for allies, increased attack and AoE resistance. Now the AoE resistance hasn't changed, and neither has the attack. Interestingly, what she's gotten is defense penetration by 20 and increase of healing power. And both of those things make sense in her kit, but is rather underwhelming for going up against basically a lot of other characters. Risal saw some initial play when she first came out, and since then has come, well, fairly just completely fallen off the side of the earth, because, let's face it, this girl has been holding up wind for a really long time, and is still one of the most important things. But honestly, I think that Earth could be quite a serious contender with how much it is pushing towards evasion and whatnot. And I don't know, it will depend on what goes up against it next. I think that water and ice have some real good potential to kind of push back against Earth, from at least what I'm thinking about, with some of the more newer characters being like really, really accurate. Boy, I hope I'm not making a mistake on this and just misremembering. But yeah, I guess the big takeaway from this is that Earth Evasion, I think we can call it a thing now. I think people can probably invest in it and have some fun with it. As for me, I mean, I'm good with the other elements, but so long as it doesn't be a complete evasion coin flip meta, I never want to see that ever again after lock. There it is. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a good one.